Hello, welcome back to a new video. Remember to like and subscribe. Shin continued to walk through the crowd as his eyes lingered on the beautiful women, enjoying his time walking through it, purposely slowing his pace as he felt someone touching his butt, making him almost jump from excitement. He heard a familiar feminine voice in the crowd, making him stop his perverted actions. The voice belonged to none other than Miss Chang, who was telling the women to slow down and not push each other since it might end up hurting someone when her eyes landed on Tian, who was still standing between the crowd looking flustered. He immediately gathered himself, rubbing the back of his head, trying to form words that would explain to her why he was standing there. He then told her that he was also figuring out why the entrance was blocked and he got stuck. He continued to butter her by saying that he only faced humiliation in order to see her, and that people who love each other have to face such difficulty if they want to meet each other, and that is exactly what was happening here. These women were blocking his way to meet Chang. Chang obviously saw through him and got annoyed as she pinched his cheek, rather harshly saying he would never get enough, so she dragged him inside the building, telling him to follow her into the office while not letting go of his cheek. He was now sitting here in his office, still rubbing his cheek. He asked Chang about the current situation of the company. She took out her paperwork and explained to him about the sales, that although their original plan was to demand half the payment in advance of the orders for the beautifying pill. According to the estimate, the people who placed orders and gave half the payment already gave a large sum for the pills, which reached the number of 10 billion in one morning. Shin was happy with the news when Chang told him that due to the large number of orders for the pill and less number of employees, they need to recruit more people to ensure the smooth running of the company and get the orders done on time, which can only be possible after expanding the recruitment. Upon hearing this and finally analyzing the situation, Chen now asked whether those beautiful women outside were here to apply for the seats on the employees. He also said he shall design the map of the new building himself, and these $10 billion would be used for the betterment of it. Chen's pulse was already pulsating faster at the thought of these women working in his building, as his perverted side was enjoying this, but Cheng then said if he was happy with the harem she built for him, making him stutter as he shook his head. He told her that he was just messing around with her, and despite everything, he is still the boss, and as his position, it would be unethical for him to lay hands on his employees no matter how beautiful they are. Shannon said, resting his arm around her shoulder, why would he go and hunt for wildflowers when he has a beautiful white lotus right here? He reasoned that her beauty was incomparable to any woman making her sides, so she instead resorted to business matters. Miss Chang made him aware that all of the employees were busy at the moment and the applicants' number has been exceeding way more than they expected, and none is present to interview them. She explained to him that there are very few male applicants, and since the overall number of applicants are in a large number, so it would only make sense if they did a short screening of choosing high-educated, multi-qualified, and high-value recruitments, since it would balance a lot of their time as they need to get the company running. By narrowing the scope of expectations and requirements, they could easily hire as many people as they want, considering how many of them are foreigners and seem qualified for this purpose. This ticked a memory in Tian's brain as he again confirmed the part where Cheng said they are mostly foreigners. He then suddenly remembered that he has seen half of these women before. As if on cue, it hit him. He connected the dots and rushed to take out the envelope Master Ning gave to him, which had the pictures of the foreign spies, and just as he thought those women outside the building were the spies. Cheng was surprised to see Tian having their pictures, but then he explained everything to her about what Ning told him. She told them that many of them are scheduled for interviews in the afternoon. Shin was furious seeing how fast the foreigners could be, as the sales avenue just happened yesterday and today, and they were all here to spy on his company, which made Cheng worried if they got their hands on the key documents and fled the country, then it would cause a havoc. Miss Cheng immediately stuffed the pictures back into the envelope, considering meeting the HR and ordering him to not let any of the applicants inside who matched the picture, as they only have to hire trustworthy people. Amidst this, the door knocked, and it was another employee, Xiaoman. Cheng granted her permission to come in. She looked worried and told them that there is a big shot outside, and they would like to meet him in person. To clear everything, she said that it is the top management of Chakan Group, and even the chairman is present, which indicated that it was a big deal. Cheng said that they are a powerful company. The entire enterprise is affiliated with China. They hold state banking and immaculate strength. She could not believe that they were here. Both Cheng and Tian rushed into the meeting room where the chairman and his group was already seated. He introduced himself and went straight to the point that the beautifying pill was working wonders not only in its homeland, but around the globe, and its market value is exceeding. The name of the chairman of Chakan Group was Lin Kateo, who was actually here to buy the entire stock and ownership of the beautifying pill, since his company was tremendously larger and powerful than Tangxin Beauty Group. So he proposed that due to the increasing volume of the pill and its level of affecting the country's interest, it would be unfair for Tian to handle it with his present abilities. She had understood what he was trying to say and worded it simply. He said that Lin, the chairman, means that someone else might do a better job in protecting the beautifying pill than Yi Wuqian himself, to which the chairman nodded, pleased at how straightforward Qian is. Lin then said that his company Chiavakun would like to buy the beautifying pill and the price of 5 billion yuan would be enough, making Tian chuckle. Even Chang was surprised. Qian told him that if he thinks that is the total cost of the beautifying pill, then he is wrong, or if he intends on looking down on Yi Wuqian, then he is certainly not fine. But Lin remained composed and said that the price of things are negotiable as long as the owner is willing to sell it. He asked to know what price does Tian have in mind in return for the pill. Qian's jaw ticked as his eyes sharpened. He immediately told them his negotiable value for the beautifying pill, which was 300 billion yuan. The chairman abruptly stood up, slamming his hands on the table, clearly angered over the amount of money Tian proposed to forward the negotiation. He mocked Tian if his own whole company was worth 3 billion yuan that he decided to place such a sum for some mere pills. Tian could not handle it anymore as he hissed at him for using such remarks against his empire. He told Lin that since the beautifully pill belongs to him, it's his creation and he has every right to sell it for whatever money he wants. The beautifying pills are worth whatever Tian says they are of. The chairman was not willing to listen, let alone negotiate such a large sum of money. Qian then added to his knowledge that he received 10 billion yuan for a fraction of the pills, and here is the chairman of a powerful company trying to buy it for just 5 billion. Ironic. He said since they cannot negotiate the said money, then there is no point to continue this meeting, and Lin and his group may go back to their mother's womb and dream. The infuriated chairman then fixed his glasses again, trying to reason with Tian that he actually came here due to the pressure on him by the higher authorities, and his job is to just follow the instructions, and if Tian is willing to communicate properly, then he might also be able to offer him some more benefits other than just money. Lin said that if he is not willing to cope with them, then forget 10 billion, he won't offer him even a few $100s. His tone was cold. After hearing the chairman, Miss Cheng realized that the chairman was just a puppet whose strings are in the hands of another man, and he does whatever the mastermind tells him to. The top shots of China are being controlled by another man. She thought that they really need to sell the pills. She was pulled out of her train of thoughts as Tian again mocked the chairman, saying that Lin is nothing but a lapdog taking orders from another, all because he needs the money. Tian threatened the chairman to exit his company in 3 seconds, or he would end up in the hospital for a few months after he shall be done with him. Sighing in defeat the people from the Chakan group, Cheng grabbed Tian's hand and told him to calm down and leave some space for communication instead of completely tearing their faces off. Chen reasoned that the opponents did not leave any room for him to negotiate further, so it was obvious that they were here to bully him. He told her not to worry as he has everything under control. Miss Cheng nodded, telling him that there were chances of the opponents stealing the raw materials to make it themselves, as well as the people who provided the raw materials deliberately were raising the prices, and if that happens, things wouldn't be fine. Shin interrupted her and said that if the providers raised the price, then they would simply stop buying it from them, since he already expected this to happen. He instructed her to buy enough stock to last them for a year and a half. Although Tian seemed confident, he was also worried that the suppliers increased the price because it would cause havoc. He thinks of making some sacrifices. He thinks of planting the raw materials enough for him to work. The scene then moves to Sidu Villa, the house of the Sidu family. The name of the head was Sidu Wang, who was talking with Sidu Wei, asking her about the creditability of Tian's words, to which she told her grandpa that 70% and that he made the beautifying pill himself. His skills of medical skills were unmatched. Her father, Setuji, interrupted that just because he made the beautifying pill doesn't mean he can control people's lives. He did not believe that he could make any human live up to 100 years, so he needs to investigate first. Wei was mad at her father because he didn't believe her either. She told them that the Aoying family did and already got the shares from Tian. She thought that didn't find her trustworthy. Her father then corrected her that the shares were only given to Aoying Xinyu, to which Wei said that it is just a cover-up, because the family was in need, then Xinyu would help them. She said that with the help of the beautifying pill, the Aoying family must be like a tiger with wings. Her grandpa then asked how is Aoying doing and if Tian could really cure him. Wei added that the chances are high because Tian's medical skills were no joke. Her father again reasoned that he cannot understand how could someone change so much. He was still wondering if it was Tian or some doppelganger. His daughter told him that she had done DNA tests, and it is, in fact, Tian himself. She was still curious to know how he learned these medical techniques and why did he hide for so long. He did not think there was the same person. He said he cannot trust such a mysterious guy who is hard to control. Her grandpa said that they need time to think, which sort of disappointed Wei. In the next scene, the same man who was targeted by Tian is shown talking with his partner. She asked him where his slaves were. He chuckled, saying that those two robots have been acting up, that's why they have gone for repair. He was also considering replacing them with new ones since he thinks money can buy him anything. He asked her about the progress of their analysis and if they have gotten any results. She responded that she is also surprised with the situation and her current technology is unable to analyze it despite her trying to advance it. The auburn-haired woman said that if this keeps going, then Chan would make a lot of money and they won't be able to get anything, so she insisted that they start from another point. He asked if she would like to use a honey trap, and she countered if he'll fall for it. The man warned her to not to get burnt while playing with fire. She told him to worry about himself instead of being concerned about her, since his family is dissatisfied with what he is about to do. He said that it is his business and that was his first chance. She was now enraged that he was again thinking of playing with the ingredients as they were still unaware of it. He can't be sloppy with medicine. She was trying to make him understand that the situation was conscious and it could end up doing more damage than good. It might even kill people. To him, the demise of some people was nothing. All that matters is that the bodies were hidden on time. He tried to persuade her by saying that it would make her a fortune, but she declined it by saying that she is not getting involved and he can do it all alone. He rested his chin on his hand, saying whatever as he watched her leave. The retaliation of the Chakan group came rapidly. Several departments jointly conducted a raid on Tanks and Beauty Group. The entire process took over an hour. It was notified to be suspended for rectification. The media took advantage of this situation, and it was soon on the headlines that Tanks and Beauty Group has been seized, which means someone was acting behind the shadows. They added purposeful shady remarks, deliberately attacking the Tangs and Hanyam Group as a fraudulent company. It was said that according to the medical tests, a number of harmful substances were found in the beautifying pills. It was reported that the father of the pill, Yu Qian, was only making black money, not caring about the health of people. People had mixed reactions. While some thought Tangsin should be sealed, others were still supporting it. Physical as well as cyber arguments took place. The disfigured people who were desperate to get their pills were fighting the industry. They said that they can't just seal anything and who would fix their faces. The situation worsened. On the other hand, Tian's sister told their father that the media as well as departments are attacking Tian. Her father was calm. He nodded, telling her that he knows, to which she realized it was none other than her father who did this. She asked him why would he do this to his own son. He said he was forced to do so, since to him power is hard to handle and doesn't provide freedom, instead ruins oneself. Chang was talking with Tian. She could not believe that the once lively company is dead now. Chaden said that he gave all of them paid leave since it would be useless for them to stay here. Chang was pressed because despite the company being hygienic and meeting the industry's standards, they still sealed it. For Tian, it was useless since they would go to any lengths to attack him. Chang said that they just want the pills to rot, so what should we do? He advised her not to worry, for the shelf life of the pill is very long, so obviously they can't sit that long, so they need to think of something. It was to play weak. Chang knew that he was talking about relying on the power of people. The public was already getting fierce, and they were spreading damage as well as the east side was in chaos. Tian told her that they don't know who the real enemy is, and once we give them the identity, then it's on them. The next day, Tian issues an announcement which included that due to the pressure from certain powerful companies, they were caused unnecessary charges, and said that people who need the pill not be impulsive and take care. On various public websites, it was posted by enthusiastic citizens that they had seen the Cha Kun group executives entering and exiting the building. They were none other than Cheng and Tian. People who supported Tanks and Beauty Group aimed fire at Cha Kun Group and breached their websites. Their reputation was tainted and the value of their stock went down. The war was not over yet. Tanks and Beauty Group made another announcement which clearly stated that due to the health department shutting them down, had them reluctantly destroy the beautifying pills because of their limited shelf life. There is no pill left in the world. This was the moment when the volcano entirely detonated, causing an outrage in public who wanted to buy it. 203. The disfigured people who needed the pills were upset. Some thought of dying, while some were cussing at the higher authorities for doing this. However, some people advised them that the pills were nothing but a fake way to make money, and they shouldn't be disheartened. The pill failed the test by the health department, so they were telling people to shut up about wanting it. Also, with a large amount, they would never be able to buy it if it weren't seized. This caused a fight between two parties, and violence occurred on the streets of Dongshan. They screamed, cussed, and punched each other, while some people who were opposed to the pill made fun of the disfigured people. A commotion broke out in the streets and blood splashed everywhere. Cries were heard. Just then, the police arrived there. The captain, Cheng, told them to stop the fight or else they face heavy punishment. One of the people hit her with a rock, making her wince. The fellow officer said that they're not listening, so she ordered them to use the pressure water gun. They did, which finally made the fight stop. After an hour of cuffing people and dissolving the situation, the matter finally calmed down. One of the protesters apologized to the captain for behaving like this. He said that he feels upset because of his face, but she wouldn't know. One of them said that she can't feel him because she's not disfigured while one was crying because he can't let his unborn child see him. A woman said some call her a monster. They said that the pill gave them hope, but some people also diminished it, leaving them scarred. All of them thought of dying together since they can't live a normal life. Chang understood their pain as she almost got disfigured once but said that she can't do anything but abide by the law. The commander later reported to her that there were 13 cases in a day and the traffic has been jammed. He also told her that the Chakan group in Dongshan district has been a massive hit area and the property has been ruined. Rotten eggs were everywhere. All the bureaus are like this. It was worth thinking how they got so many rotten eggs. The executives from the Chakan group and superiors were putting pressure on him, and more than 40,000 people were coming from abroad. All of them were supporters of Tang's and Beauty Group. It was getting out of hand. Chang said that the situation would get worse if the foreigners are involved, resulting in war with the other countries, which might lead to international disputes. The officer was now angry with Chang and said that if she knew about this, why didn't she contact Tian? If he hadn't played the victim and made an entire situation on the internet, then this wouldn't have happened. Chang responded that she did try to call him at least a dozen times, but he never answered and even shut down his phone afterward. The superior sighed. He knew Tian did this on purpose. Now they would have to listen to whatever the top say. At Chen's house, Chen was telling him that people have already done enough damage and how long would they be able to stand it. Due to the wind, Tian said he expected this since the public is powerful. Cheng sighed, saying that after the situation resolves, they should give out the beautifying pill for free to show them gratitude. The door knocked at Cheng opened. It saw Xinyu and asked her what is she doing there. She told them that there is a fake beautifying pill in the market. 204. Xinyu handed Tian a file that contained all the necessary information regarding the fake beautifying pill. It was either a threat from the Chakan group or a seizure from the health department. Chen joked that he had enough advertisements for the beautifying pill before it was released, but since it was sealed before its sale, there is another fake pill taking advantage. He asked her where was the first sale, and she told him that the fake pills were first discovered in Shanghai, but is not called Qing Cheng pill but Qinggu pill. According to the investigation, the company that made it is called Qinggu Tangxin Company, and just in a few days they have sold millions of pills. People are believing that the Qinggu pill is also from the production of the Tiangxin Company and is a dupe, so they are buying it. Xinyu said that she discovered late and the pills have spread, worsening the situation all over the world. Instead of healing, the patient's condition is getting worse and some even died. Tian ordered Kexin to announce a statement on their official website that the Qinggu pill is not a product of the Tiangxin Company, so they don't end up deceived. He then asked Xinyu about the whereabouts of the Qinggu Tiangxin Company and its legal representative, and she told him that it was located in Guam. However, she was unable to find the identity of the representative, just that it was an African person. Tian chuckled, saying that Guam Island is a small country with more than 100,000 citizens. It was a fishy location, which meant that the fake pill makers wanted to make money and disappear. She had decided that he would go to Shanghai himself tonight to see the situation. Upon this, both Xinyu and Change asked whether they should go along with him, but were surprised by each other's response and stopped right there. But Chen had different plans. He wanted to take Chen Le with him alongside a few of his comrades. Le was at Grandpa Ning's place and was telling him about his tactics of Tian, that despite such suppressions and downfall, he still managed to win sympathy by putting himself as a victim. He used the public. They said that the matter has already gotten out of hand and would invite trouble at the end. He knew that the big brother of Dongchen shouldn't have messed with him. Master Ning said that there is no one to blame than himself for trusting the wrong people and being in the wrong team. It's his fault, and now that Qing Cheng pills are on top, they would take action. Just then, Chen Lei added that he was made aware yesterday about a fake beautifying pill in the market that has already sold millions, but its name is Qinggu Pills, and Tian would probably know about it till now due to Xinyu's intelligence work. Ming realized that it was all to make money and ordered Chen Li to call Siki back so she could accompany Yi Wutian to Shanghai. They need to tell the offenders who they were messing with. He was shocked knowing that Grandpa wanted Siki to go along with him. He was worried about her fiancé and also told him that the Chen family has been pushing on marriage. Grandpa Ning said that it is up to the kids to decide. That night, Chen and Chen, well alongside his comrade Siki, were on their way to Shanghai, and Tian asked her about what is her business with him, so she marked it as a coincidence. Instead, Tian started acting like a pervert and thought that she missed his charm and annoyed her, while the comrade told Chen Lei that Siki once beat a man for flirting with her, and he ended up in the hospital. Their boss, Chang, should be careful. All of them stopped hearing someone calling out loud about letting them wait for so long, and Tian recognized the voice. It was Siduwei. Shin was surprised to see her here, because no one knew yet the temptress, Sedaway, knew it. She encircled her arm around his, saying that they should probably go and work on his investigation instead of standing here like a fool. He asked whether she has a bug installed in him because she always knows where he is, to which she said that intelligence networks are excellent. On the other side, Sikit also realized that not only were the Aoying family, but the Sedyu family is also behind Tian, so that's why Grandpa told her to tag along. All three of them were now sitting in Sichu's car, but Chen asked whether she knows where they were going, so she handed him a paper that had the full easy map of the King Gu route, making Tian shocked since he hadn't even started to check it. She was quick. Sedaway said that she did a great job, but Chen was thinking that what would she ask for him in return? All of them then reached the said address, and even Chen Li and his comrade, including Tian and Siki, were disgusted to see the place, as they thought it might be a luxurious building, but it was a rotten one. It was dirty and unhygienic, so he confirmed to Wei if they were at the right place. She nodded, saying that it is. Tian was upset knowing that they are trying to imitate Tanzan in this disgusting place. He entered the building asking if it was the King Gu company, but no one responded since the two workers were busy taking calls and gathering orders. Shin was now embarrassed, thinking that a company with no proper system and rules and just two workers who play games are ruining the King Cheng pill. He called them again, but they said that if he wants the pills, he should fill out the form and be careful with the details he would receive in 3 days with the shipping fee. They weren't paying attention, so Wei slammed her hand on the table, gaining their attention, saying that it is a big order, and they would like to discuss business. She looked tempting. The workers immediately stood up with a smile and said the customers are special and asked them to take a seat and tell them how many pills do they want. Wei then said that she would like to meet the boss, but to their bad luck, they told them that this is a branch office and the boss never comes here. Only they work here. They asked them to order the pills, and they can arrange as much as they desire, and to their surprise, Chen placed an order of 1 million King Gu pills. Suddenly, one of the workers felt a hard punch against him. It was Tian, who was scolding him and repeatedly hitting him by saying that he dares to sell the pill knowing it was Yi Wu Tian. They apologized, but he continued to scold them by saying that who plays games at work, and even if they were copying his pills, couldn't they also copy his work environment, even though the sugar mills have a better place and their attitude deserves to be beaten? He said that his work is serious and they should have done better service. All four of them were watching the scene with a worried look. They pleaded for mercy and said that they don't know anything, let alone the contact information, because it was them who contact them, and every single time is a new number, which then turns off when they try to call back. Chitin then said that if they take orders so casually without any specific reason, there must be a warehouse where the pills are stored. He hits the worker with his leg, telling him to reveal where it is, and he takes them there. Both of them take the group to the warehouse, and all of them are shaken to the core. Siki said that this warehouse must be 500 square feet and has millions of pills stored, and the boss must make a lot of money from this. Wei couldn't understand how one could make so many pills in such a short amount of time, and this place is only a small fraction. Chen asked Tian what they should do in case these pills reach the market. Chen ordered them to burn the warehouse down. The workers cried that they shouldn't do it because they need money. Tian then told them that it isn't worth more than the lives of millions of people. They begged him not to do it, but he had no choice because it was worsening the situation as far as their lives. They can start over as better people. Shen told Chen Li to burn the place and mark it as an accidental fire, to which he rogered. In a few minutes, the fire started and the pills were burning. Chen and his team got into their cars while the workers couldn't remember anything. We noticed Tian's smug expression and asked why he is still not happy after doing something so big, so he responded that they still haven't caught the real culprit, which means danger remains. Siki added that the legal representative uses African names, so it is hard to track them down, and the registration island is a small country, so things are hard to understand. She said that the warehouse was just a shell, and they still don't know what there is to see. To lighten the mood, Wei advised that why don't they go to a hot spring nearby to relax. Shin liked the idea and told Siki to tag along, but she gave him a weird expression, to which Tian said that he won't do anything bad to her since he's a gentleman. Siki exited the car and said that she doesn't believe him, and also if they want to go, they can, because she's not going to go. They'll go alone. Siki then warned Wei to not get bitten by Tian. Siki chuckles, talking with a seductive tone that she doesn't mind getting bitten, but only if Tian is willing to open his mouth. She then asked Tian if he would like to help her pick out a swimsuit because she forgot to pack one. Shin gave him a thumbs up. He said that she may not believe it, but he is an expert in picking the perfect swimsuit. His eyes were sparkling. Kenla asked Tian if he was going somewhere since he didn't leave the car. He nodded at him, saying that he needs to attend to some business, and he'll meet them tomorrow, and they are free to go. Later that day, Chen and Wei were shopping at the mall when people eyed them. Men couldn't take their eyes off of Sidu-Wei and fantasized if she was their girlfriend, they'd be the happiest man alive. One said that Tian doesn't deserve her. One thought that he was more handsome than Tian. Chin glanced at Siduwei, asking if she was seducing him, to which she started analyzing her actions. She thought that she has never been this clingy before, so she let go of him, thinking about how she is holding arms with him like a couple, something she has never done with anyone. She turned to him, asking if he thought so, which made him think that the always seductive lady was now suddenly so serious, and it seemed wrong. It wasn't her style. He asked himself if he really has feelings for Wei, and the answer was yes, because who would resist such a beautiful woman? But he always had a feeling if he accepted her, then he would suffer, because that's how she was. What he was sure of was that no matter how composed Siduwei seemed, she still didn't have the emotional ability to solve problems. She wasn't mature at all. She can't be free-spirited and decent like Ouyang Xinyu. She questioned him again, but he changed the subject by saying that they should go look for a swimsuit for her, since that's what they're here for, boasting about how top-notch is just eyesight. He then searched for a swimsuit, grabbing one and telling her to try it on because the fabric felt soft. Wei was shocked at the two-piece set he gave her. Tim panicked, saying that if she doesn't like it, then they should probably buy a sports swimsuit. He was thinking about why the temptress couldn't turn back to her old self, sneaky and annoying. According to him, acting like a normal girl was making Tian turn abnormal. The saleswoman interrupted him, saying that it is a limited edition piece and would look good on his girlfriend since she thought Wei was his girlfriend. She also complimented his fashion taste. Wei took the set from him, saying that she would try it on, thinking that no one has ever called her a girlfriend of anyone. She calmed herself down before walking into the changing room and thought that she is weird for thinking of such kind of thing. A moment later, she was in front of Tian dressed up, asking him about how she looked, and blood rushed out of Tian's nostril as he said that she looked awesome. She asked him whether he would gift it to her, although it was a little expensive. She persuaded Tian enough for him to buy it. He was glad that the temptress is back and said that she helps her so much, so this set is nothing. Later at the Shanghai Hot Spring Hotel, Tian was in the water thinking about how his gentlemanly behavior drove Siduwei away, and now he's bathing all alone. Then he realized that even if he did book 2 rooms, Siduwei would still break in, as that's her style, so he would wait. He thought about how she always used to tease him, and now he made her blush, which was his revenge. It had been 10 minutes since he was waiting, but she didn't come. Tian was disappointed, so he decided to get up and sleep. Just then, the door slid open, revealing Siduwei and the set Tian gifted her. Tian stood up from the hot water, but stopped, feeling a hand on his shoulder, then a whisper. It was Siduwei asking if he was leaving. He internally panicked, thinking that he can endure this, and the temptress is back. There she stood in the set as he asked her what she was doing in his room, so she reasoned that it wouldn't be fair for her not to show him wearing the swimsuit, since it's rare for him to buy it. She asked it if it suited her, so he responded calmly that it looks better on her than it did at the shop. He said she looked beautiful. She then asked if he would like to see something better, something under the set, tugging at its side. Chen's whole body stiffened, registering the fact that she had finally thought about crossing her limits, because in the past she only used to tease him, but never took action. But he played hard to get. Chen coughed and cleared that it would be hard for him to maintain decency, as he might do something excessive. Wei chuckled. She was joking and would never give her to him. She dipped into the water right in front of a startled Tian and said that the flow of water is very rapid this side, making Tian confused since there was no flow at all. She was up to something. Just then, he saw the top piece floating over water. He grabbed it, asking her, horrified, that how could it possibly happen? She simply said that it's because of the unsteady flow. She then innocently asked him to cover her just in case someone saw her, to which might she'll never get married. Internally, he was confused that no one would see her like this, but he told her that he's there to protect her. Now the lower piece was floating too, and blood rushed out of his nose again. She again blamed the flow of the water. He grabbed her by her shoulders, telling her that she should understand, as he is trying to suppress himself, or he must have put her in her place by now. She slowly told him not to hold back, to which he splashed her deeper into the water, rather harshly, saying she wanted this. He was about to touch her when she said that she'd like to be his first wife, and his responsibility, making him stop. He looked like he would puke. Chen promptly told her that he is not ready for such a responsibility. She tried manipulating him that she's ready and he can do it for her, but he stood on his words. She then asked to be the second wife, since the first position was taken by Kexin Cheng. He told her that men don't always think with their upper body, and he can't take such a responsibility right now. He said he controlled himself, or he must have done something. She mocked that he won't do anything. Chen got up, thinking that if he stayed longer, then he won't be able to control himself, so it's better if he leaves. To him, Siduwei had hidden agendas, and the Sedu family was mysterious, so it was better to keep distance. In a loud tone, he told her to get dressed. He won't peek, but if she doesn't trust him, then he can leave. Wei thought that it was hard for her to extricate herself near him. Wei huffed that she has been hanging out with him, so it's useless for him to leave or not look. She said he can look back if he wants to. This provoked Tian's perverted side, so he thought of not letting go of this once-in-a-lifetime offer. He jumped around to look at her, but was surprised to see her dressed. He asked her how she was still wearing when it washed away, but she told him that she was wearing 2 swimsuits. She said she's no longer interested in anything and exits the room, leaving a flustered Tian, who then was embarrassed because he got fooled by her again. On the other side, Wei couldn't help but think that he was about to kiss her. Tian then saw that his phone had tons of missed calls from Xinyu and Chen. He decides to call Cheng. She informed him that the pill had spread in Dongchen district and had infected the whole country. People were getting sick, but Qian said that he had burnt the warehouse down, so how was it possible to happen this fast? She told him that they have a lot of sale points and Shanghai was an insignificant one. He then wanted to leave right away. On the flip side, the same man who Tian targeted was enjoying his time drinking, torturing his slave, saying that it took a lot of money for him to fix her, and he doesn't regret it. He laughed, thinking that due to Xing Cheng pills, he made more than 8 billion in less than 2 days, all thanks to Yi Wutian. It was worth running after him for so long. He was greedy and thought that this is nothing and he would make more money soon. Just then he got a call. He was worried to see the caller ID. He picked up, asking why was Grandpa calling him right now. He questioned that the King Cheng pill was his work. Yi Wuting is seen on the phone in an intense discussion with his grandpa as he angrily told Yi Wuting to spit it out before hanging up on him, which led him to angrily crush his phone because they have made 10 billion in the past days, so he was pretty upset. He wanted him to spit it out. He started to think on the fact that Grandpa might have been coming under pressure for the sole reason that the higher-ups were pretty displeased with what had happened. Yi Wuting began to be unsure about what to do, wonder if he has to spit out everything, which he could not bring himself to accept. After all this news, Yi Wuting rushed home, and at the same time he was gathering manpower to look into what had happened with a full investigation on the channel sales where fake drugs were being pumped into the market. He also invested a lot of money into the media so that customers would be aware of being deceived. However, before Yi Wuting could have done anything and his arrangements get into action, the most powerful force in China already deployed everything, and action began taking place. On that day, it was all over the media that there were large-scale of reports on the Qingqing pill fraud, from small towns to large-scale cities and covering the entire range of China. The news can be seen broadcasting on a big screen in the middle of the city as the reporter reports on imitation of the King Cheng pills were widespread around most areas of the country a few days back, which threatened the safety and interests of people. Because of this, there was a vast anti-fake drug operation that was launched, and within 1 week all drug warehouses were sealed up in China and destroyed. Also, a large number of people involved were arrested and met with legal sanctions. Back at the Aoying residences, Xinyu Aoying can be seen taking a stroll with Yi Wuting as she congratulates him for finally getting back the King Cheng pill on track again. He then reminds her that it is also good news for her as she's a major shareholder of the company. He then shared with her that there were a large infatuation of people apply for jobs at the company, and he was ready to expand the company more. Xinyu asks how much he will plan on investing this time and reminds him no matter how big it is, her Aoying family will be able to afford it. Yi Wuting then shared his idea to her that he plans on investing 10 billion more into the company to build a 30-story commercial building, and told her he would share a copy of his ideas of his own design with her at a later time. She then asked him if he was honest with her when he told her that her grandfather would wake up in the current day. At the same time, her brother came out of nowhere yelling for security to get Yi Wuting off the property. Asking him why was he here and who had invited him, he was adamantly upset seeing him there. Yi Wuting then told him that old man Aoyang was about to wake up and people are very anxiously waiting. At the same time, Xingyu told her brother that he was her guest, and he sarcastically replied, asking her if he was a relative or her lover, as he told her there was nothing for her to be proud of as she sold herself for a 10% stake in the King Cheng pill company, screaming at her, telling her if she wanted to go on a date, she should go someplace else and not defile the Aoyang family. Xingyu then out of nowhere struck him across the face, reminding him she had warned him before of talking nonsense. He then angrily tried hitting back, but Yi Wuting used one of his feet to ease him back, telling him that if it was not for Xingyu, his whole family would have been on a total decline. He should be thankful instead of daring to hit his own sister. At the same time, Xingyu's older brother came out asking what was going on as Yi Wuting told him that his younger brother tried hitting Xingyu and insulting her. He then told him to stand up to his brother for his actions against his little sister. He then asked if all of this was true, to which his brother angrily replied, telling him that both Yi Wuting and Xingyu were not deserving of being in the Aoying family quarters, while insulting them, telling him to get out, but he was met with a swift smack to the face instantly by his brother. And that's all for today. Remember to like and subscribe and leave a donation for faster uploads.